Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Conversations with Tara and Ryan. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Tara.
And today we are joined by two amazing guests on opposite sides of the country. We have Heather Brooks and Eve Hill of Customized Aging nationwide, and they're doing a presentation for the NAIPC at the end of the month on the 25th. So be there or be square. So thank you, ladies, for joining the podcast. This will be the greatest episode thus far. So thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Thank you for having us, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we got like four corners of the country figured out right now, or at least three corners. We needed somebody up in Washington, and then we would have everything covered from top to bottom. With that being said, how about you give folks an overview of what customized aging is?
I'll let Eve go ahead.
Well, hi, my name is Eve Hill, and we formed Customized Aging to sort of offer older adults and their families a way to work through the process of aging in place and help them, whether they want to stay in their home, they may need modifications to help them age safely. So we want to help them make those modifications, get the resources they need to right-size their stuff. And if they need to move, then we want to help them find a place to move that would be safer for them. So that's where and Heather was a real estate agent for many years and a senior real estate specialist. And I got involved and I finally got my real estate license just a month ago. So we could kind of encompass and serve the whole aging in place ecosystem, whether they need to modify or move.
Yes.
Heather, you want to add?
Yeah. So, I'll take it back about 7 years ago. I started really diving into the senior home ownership market. And I love statistics and I love numbers and I love looking at where things are going and the way things are headed within this market. And I started with a company called eXp Realty about 5 years ago, and started within a network called eXp Seniors Network. And it's actually real estate agents focusing on the senior homeowner niche, which is really kind of what started the snowball rolling in the senior homeownership niche. And then it became, as I started working with senior homeowners, a modifier move effect. Do I modify my home and can I financially afford it? And is it going to look like that? And, they'll point to pictures, or am I going to have to move? And then you got to understand the psychology behind that part is, well, they're sitting in a home that they have 50 years of memories in, they've raised children in, and the home may have, a ceiling falling around, down around them, or a roof that needs repair or new plumbing. And because they're on a fixed income, what do? You're faced with some kind of, trials and tribulations of just trying to age safely. And that's what it became that I started seeing. And I wanted to change that. And so I thought, okay, let's modify or move, but educate and empower homeowners with both. Because if you educate them that it doesn't have to look like that, you can have universal design and it be beautiful and it look like a Ritz-Carlton bathroom. It doesn't have to look like a cold, sterile hospital type setting. And so you can have these beautiful open showers with these textured walls, and you can still have that color contrast when you're in a bathroom and that open feeling and these beautiful, they've got gorgeous features when it comes to grab bars that don't look like grab bars. So I think taking that stigma out of it and educating the public on social media and any other outlet they'll listen to you is important. And then people want to know, what about the resale of their home, the value of it? What does that do? Well, when you're making something gorgeous and beautiful, and universal design has some amazing people working in that field that make things look like heaven. Like you've walked into a bathroom at a spa, and you wouldn't know that if you were in a wheelchair or a walker and you needed to get into it. But when you go to resell the house, that beautiful spa bathroom is is nice. People like it. It's great. Open concept in a home. It's another great thing. So everything being open, it's great if you're in, if you have an accessibility, an accessibility issue and you need something to help you, but you want to make it look aesthetically nice. So you got to break that stigma. That's my feeling behind it.
What I really like about what we're trying to do and what we're doing is that we know about the physical features that can look fantastic. And we're also, when we educate the older adults and their families about it, then it helps them psychologically, it helps them mentally, it helps their outlook, it helps them think, oh, aging isn't just a decline. Aging can be another chapter, another stage of development where I can be enriched and independent and autonomous with a few of these technologies and modifications. And so I just like what's happening in this space right now, where it feels like there's both the physical and the emotional and psychological are working together to create this reframing aging and the new narrative. And so that gets me really excited. I had my family. What'd you say?
I'm sorry, I was going to interject in there. I think a lot of times people market to this world based on fear. And I think what you're doing is what NAIPC is trying to do, which is reframe people's thinking. Getting old is a privilege. Everyone doesn't get to do it. My father didn't. He passed at 62. So just changing the way, like, I'm privileged to live this long, and I don't have to live in a hospital environment, and I can have Ritz-Carlton home, and it can be beautiful. So yeah, I love what you ladies are doing, and you're on social educating people, which I love as well.
It is, because I feel like if you educate them, it empowers them to make either change, whether it's right sizing to a different home. It doesn't have to be a home that you're in, and taking that stigma away, or being in that home and being able to make it look beautiful and lovely aesthetically. You've got a multi-million-dollar home and you're not going to put in a hospital type look to it. So being able to take that away, however much money it is, there's ways to go about it. You can financially afford it. It's a little easier now than it was to say 10, 15, 20 years ago. That's all.
So I know that you say you started your story going back 7 years, but I'd like to know how the two of you met, because I'm guessing it's longer than 7 years ago.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. I used to work in education, and when my children were born, I would give back at their school. That's how Eve and I had met many years ago. And then we started teaching a class at that elementary school together. So that's how we ended up. And I said, one day we're going to work together. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. And, I was on my real estate path, but little did I realize that it would end up here.
And Eve, your background it's not real estate,
no,
is it marketing? What's your background?
I would say overall, I have a writing background. I went to film school, film history and criticism. I did a lot of analyzing movies and writing about movies. And then I worked in TV production. And then I worked as a writer in television for some sitcoms. And then I decided I wanted to do my nesting, and I had my baby. And then I worked in education. I got a job at my son's elementary school working as a community liaison. Planning events and working with the parents and doing the website and the newsletter, things like that. Then I got a job working for a nonprofit, raising money to help Holocaust survivors. And I also did a lot of writing and newsletter and event planning and video editing. And then the pandemic hit. And then Heather said, you know what, I'm going to get this designation. And I said, well, that sounds fantastic. I want to help people. I want to help my future self. I want to age, and I don't want to be trapped by social stigma. So we got very involved, and I got very happy making videos and educating and getting excited about what we could do. So that's how we met, and that's where I started, and that's where I am now. I thought that, part of the reason I got involved in this, my grandmother, when I was a kid, had ALS. And when she lost her ability to walk, she refused to leave the house because she didn't want to be seen in a wheelchair. I thought that kind of sucked. that she would allow that to get to her. And then my father last year got very ill, and I learned a couple things about how to prepare and what importance of planning, and how to be present as a caregiver, and how to. So it's really going to help me in advising other people. I think it's pretty meaningful. And the other thing that I learned with my father is that he didn't use the bathroom in his bedroom for years, and I didn't know why. It was because he couldn't get through the doorway in his walker. So he was inconvenienced for years, and he never did anything about it. And it just, and the whole universal design and modifying, I get very excited that people can make their lives better. And I'm happy to be able to try and educate people so that can happen.
And while it's not necessarily applicable to people moving from a condo or a house into an assisted living, a kind of personal experience I had was I recently bought this luxurious house that you see in my background. I somehow was delegated to the basement like a troll. But with that being said, I had to sell my condo, and my condo was sold to a family to a couple who had, I believe, was told health issues, and they wanted to be close to Mass General and Boston because of all the medical centers that are there. But to your point of universal design, for people that are looking at having some type of universal design for a loved one, if you live near hospitals, if you live near a city like Boston or wherever it might be that has a reputation for really good medical centers and hospitals, it might behoove you to do that, because you might be selling or renting your property to somebody that is specifically coming in because they need medical help and they have stability issues or whatever they have. And then all of a sudden that grab bar that you thought was an overpriced decorative grab bar just helped you sell or rent your place out because people were looking to looking just for that. So something to keep in mind with universal design. It doesn't always have to be, and certainly it's always a good thing if you need to change your life, and you can go and work with somebody like Heather or Eve. But even if it's a different situation, it's never a bad thing to have a bathroom entryway that can handle a walker or whatever it might be, because you know, somebody like you or me that's able-bodied is never going to notice that extra 2 inches, 3 inches on each side, but that person in a wheelchair or a walker is going to immediately recognize that and might say, hey, this is our best option, let's get it rented or purchased immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on what you're saying, Ryan, and it's a great example of those little features people don't realize are needed. But when you look at like sales of certain types of homes, you'll see ones that are closer near hospitals, or you'll see more assisted living homes being built near hospitals than you will seeing, let's say, way out in the country. That way, because you've only got a certain amount of time to get into that hospital if something were to go wrong, or you're now seeing a lot of boarding cares, people turning their home into an actual boarding care where you rent a room, they feed you, they give you 3 meals a day, they'll take you to doctor's appointments. So there's a lot of really interesting real estate deals that are going on. They're taking right now. New York, up in the upstate New York, they've got a mall that they're turning into an assisted living facility, community. They also are taking office buildings that have gone vacant and they're turning them into living communities, more of affordable housing for seniors. So I think the types of housing are amazing that are out there. You've got granny flats, you've got wheel pad. So you've got a lot going on out there in this field as far as living, because the next step comes affordability. And affordability is a big issue among this demographics. And so back to, I'm sorry if you can hear the dog bark, excuse me. If you see what is going on now with the new stuff that's coming out, electronics, apps, medicine, And the way it's gearing, we're living longer. We're going to need it. You know, anything from AI to like self-driving cars to get you to appointments. We need them. We're going to outlive, or we're going to outnumber those under the age of 18 in 2034. Statistically, those over the age, all the baby boomers will now outnumber those under the age of 18.
And that's why it's probably not just the housing near the hospitals, it's all housing, because everybody all over in the country, in the suburbs, in the city is getting older. So, and you know, we were just we're trying to find out more about the contractors and how they can sort of have in their top of mind universal design first. And so I think that's a big part of the puzzle. We're educating the older adults and their families, and wouldn't it be great if we could also find a way to educate the contractors? And I think a lot of people are doing that. The person that taught us our certified aging in place specialist designation, Fritzi Grodion, is working hard to create a curriculum where she can teach the contractors, and they get a designation, and they realize how much money they can make and how much it will benefit their clients.
Yeah, Fritzy is one of our favorite members, and we love her. I love that you guys know her as well. So let's talk a little bit about education, because you all are running an educational session on January 25th. If you are listening to this podcast after that, you can watch it, the replay on Facebook and YouTube. But let's talk a little bit about that, because it's getting a lot of excitement. A lot of people are asking questions and talking about this presentation. So maybe you can share a little bit about it.
So one of the great things about real estate agents is we've got so many great marketing tools at our hands. We've got robust systems in place, but yet why can't other people use it? And I always wondered, like, why aren't we doing it outward bound? So I'm bringing some tools, I should say, we're bringing tools to our members. Some of those tools are how to locate senior homeowners in your neighborhood or nationwide, or whatever neighborhood you're targeting. And it's not just senior homeowners. You can break it all the way down to how much money they make a year, how many years they've lived in their home, what their FICO score is. I mean, it's pretty in depth. You can do it even from an age range. Then you can mass mail all of those homeowners through a great marketing system. You could do emails. We're going to kind of show you tips and tricks that we as real estate agents get to use on our end that would be so helpful, and anybody can use. It's very easy. Just a lot of people don't know that these tools are out there because it's kind of a real estate hidden gem.
There are some of these software programs that are real estate specific, and some of them that are for anybody. And one that we're going to focus on is called Mailbox Power. And you can do exactly that. You can target, and they have templates and designs that you can just plug your information into, or you can upload your own design. And we've been doing postcards where we're sending some postcards out to homeowners or renters in the area. And we're gonna show you how we create those designs and our ideas for how we can communicate the message and samples.
And
so it's
I'm sorry. I also think the other thing with this specific demographics, certain marketing works and other marketing doesn't. And if you're going to try to market through an email campaign, chances of a click rate probably aren't very high. Unless they know who you are and they've got valuable information coming and they know to constantly look for that. But if you're doing a paper, like something going to their home, chances of them looking over it because they're sitting at home, they've got time, they're going to look over that. So when you're sending out newsletters, what are they going to look for in your newsletter? We're going to give little tips and tricks in those newsletters of what to write in your newsletter, and also who you can pair up with to help you fund sending that newsletter on a monthly basis. There's just so many different little avenues and ways, and I can't wait to have the members learn about them, because to pass on that knowledge is fun for us, and it's empowering, everybody. And so that's where my educate, Ryan and Tara, my educate and empower of why I do it is that I love when people get to learn things and they get to use it and they get to succeed from it. Whether it be a homeowner learning something or one of our members helping a homeowner.
And chances are some of these members are going to have some good ideas of their own, and we're going to
Yeah.
have some good exchanges. We hope we're going to, inspire them to say, hey, why don't you try this? Or, oh, I tried that. So hopefully we get some good brainstorming going too.
Yeah.
Well, plus many marketing ideas are applicable to other industries. So, I just sat through a webinar yesterday where it's home care specific, since that's what I do, but they were talking about how through COVID, many marketers and business owners were saying that one of the toughest things was getting in front of people again, because hospitals and nursing homes and assisted livings are shut down. And now that they've been accustomed to being shut down to marketers, they're like, oh, this is great. We don't have to deal with marketers anymore. So it's like,
No.
well, now a lot of them have had a permanent, like, do not disturb, lock the door and let us get to work. And then all of a sudden the parade of marketers aren't able to go in there anymore. So even if it's not necessarily about real estate and finding seniors, well, there's certainly different ways to go about using the same tools that are more specific for your industry.
Yeah. Well, and I also think that if you look at, especially with the amount of senior scams that have happened with emails, that is another, not sure if I should do this with this company or, there's some hesitation there. So when you are constant in their face marketing with paper, like with the piece of paper, your logo, and you're giving them beneficial information, and that's the key to it, of being able to not just market yourself, but being able to encompass other things, maybe some sort of, great deal that's happening for seniors between 5 and 8 at such and such restaurant, and being able to partner with that restaurant in your community. And so you're making yourself as a business person are making that network, but you're also helping out that restaurant that has that senior special, and you're kind of co-marketing together and piggybacking off each other. So of course that homeowner is going to be like, oh, look, there's a special, and they'll look at both sides of that flyer. They are. And so to give people free information, that's just, we all know that it's out there because it's very easy for us to look it up on the internet. However, not so easy for others. And so if you're able to give just little bits of information while you're promoting yourself, it's a great way to get clients or to get people to trust you, to know that you're part of that community. Because our generation's very different than the generation of our parents, and the way our parents trust, the way that they want to be bought and sold to. That's a huge thing. That's marketing to that demographics.
Different.
Slapping a commercial put together isn't going to sell them on it. They want like customer service. That's a big one.
So when is this presentation? How about we promote that?
That's part of
On the 25th.
You just heard it all. That's all part of it.
No, I meant let's promote what time, what day and time it is.
That would be a Tara.
No, that's an Eve. Tara and Eve. Let's say it together. No, January 25th, 11 p. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, the 25th. Big day.
Yes.
Big day.
And if you go to aginginplace.org, I'm sure aginplace.org, I'm sure there's some information about that, so you can sign up and get the Zoom invite and get more information on how to become
and look out for
marketer.
Promotions on customized aging.
And we also record all of our sessions on YouTube, so you can also go to our YouTube channel and see other things that we have done.
But
what's your YouTube channel?
Customized
aging.
Okay. Let us know where these things are. Customized aging is, and on Facebook,
YouTube,
it's customized
Facebook,
aging as well.
Yep. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok.
LinkedIn, TikTok.
linked on.
And we also created a Facebook group, which is up to over 400 members, called the Aging in Place Network on Facebook. And that's where we've been doing a lot of our classes on, technology and demographics and marketing and elder law attorney. And so all those things are also on YouTube at Customized Aging.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad to have you all as a part of our group. I don't know if I said it on the recording or before the recording, but I know you all have been supporters of NAIPC before you were members and tagging us in all of those videos. You all are very active. I love your videos. It all makes sense now that I know Eve has a TV and writing background. That's why they're so fabulous. So, well, just is there anything that you want to share just quickly as we wrap up about something you wish people knew about aging in place related to?
Yes, I do. I think that there's a big misconception of like, it's got to get done now, and it's not. And taking your time and enjoying the ride is all part of it. And so, especially when it comes to change, we all don't like change, especially when we're made to make a change. But I think it's just nice if you can, educate and empower before it happens. Help them out before it happens. So you're not, let's go, we got to get this done now. And you don't end up there, if that makes sense. You end up faced to make that change, which is where Modify and Move came.
Yeah, and that's why we support pre-planning, because you have so many more options. The sooner you talk about it, the sooner you decide, the more options you have. So, how about you? Anything to share? Any last closing?
Well, it's hard to top that. I think that what I said before, if I can, when I'm dealing with people and when I'm doing the education or when I'm in people's homes, if they can get that sense of taking time or get that sense of this one thing, just, we don't have to be overwhelmed. I mean, and see how much that helps them. And
then, when you walk into their home, if you just took the front entrance of getting in their home, just that front entrance, forget about the rest of the home. If you can get into that front entrance and gain their trust of just helping them get through the front door easily, then the rest of the home's going to become a little easier for them to change.
Well, Dan, if people want to get a hold of you, other than through your social media sites, what's the best way to do that?
Heather Brooks RE@gmail.com.
Well, customizedaging@gmail.com will get us both.
Yeah, would get us both. That's true too. And we are nationwide. We do, from our social media, we do a lot of nationwide referrals. So both when people are modifying or moving, we do reach out to other CAPS specialists or other SRES agents to help that homeowner, wherever that homeowner is located, to get the services that they need, which is great. So I feel like the people are seeing the social media, so at least it's doing a little something.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being guests on Conversations with Tara and Ryan. We really appreciate it. And again, folks, go to the website, sign up for the presentation January 25th, and learn a lot and learn more about the NAIPC. And Heather and Eve are perfect examples of, just because you're not part of a local chapter doesn't mean you can't be part of the NAIPC and the mission to educate and provide resources to your local community. So with that being said, thank you again. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.